Alright, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to continue on some of my speculation videos on what changes we might see to Armada as a whole with the advent of Clone Wars. Again, things that aren't necessarily tied to Clone Wars, but because we're doubling the number of factions, it's a good time to make some changes, and we already know that we're going to get a rules discussion in about a week. So what I want to talk about today is dials. And dials is a big one. There's a lot of discussion about dials because we know that there is some sort of dial pack coming. Now, we don't know what's in the dial pack. We don't know what it's all about. There's a lot of speculation. So the first thing that comes to everyone's mind are command dials. So this is the most likely thing to be in a dial pack, although it doesn't say command dial pack, it just says dial pack. So there's a few reasons why this might be. I know there's some speculation. Kravik speculated that we could have, there's FFG is going to stop producing dials or including dials in expansions, and you're going to have to buy them separately. I think that's a very plausible idea. My one issue with that is, what if we know that there's production issues and we know there's shortage of supply. What if all of a sudden dials become really hard to get or impossible to get, and there's still ships out there, and you've got new players that want to come into the game, but there aren't dials to be had, and you have to have dials to be able to play the game. So that's a problem, potentially, if you don't include the dials in the packs. Now, most of us that have been playing for a long time have more dials than we know what to do with, but it's still a concern for new players. Another idea would be that it's going to be some sort of premium dial pack. I also think this is plausible because FFG has done it before for X-Wing. My one problem with a premium dial pack is, if they were to do premium dials, I would think that they would do one for each faction. I don't know what they would do as just a singular premium dial pack. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. Now, it doesn't mean that FFG isn't going to produce 4 different premium dial packs. It's just that's not what we've seen so far. We've only seen it listed once. No, it could be we're going to get some news and we're going to get 4 different premium dial packs. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Now, another idea, even getting a little bit more extreme, and this was an idea that I had early on, was FFG is going to add a new command, to the command suite. So we're going to go from 4 commands to 5. So we're going to all need new dials in order to be able to accommodate this new command. I've thought about it a lot since then. I really don't have an idea of what the new command could be. I know that we're going to get separatists, and there's going to be some droid interactions. We've seen separatists in Legion are a very different faction from the others. A lot of sharing, a lot of command passing, things like that. But I think if it was going to be some sort of kind of droid link type of a command, some sort of linkage type command for droids. But that's not going to be a command because it's not going to make sense for any of the other factions, and that would be something that you would tie more to a commander or an officer or something like that, that's specific to that faction. You wouldn't include a new command for that. And other than that, I can't really think of anything that would be a new command. There could be major changes coming that none of us have seen coming, that's going to totally flip stuff on its head, and we're going to have to learn a whole new command and how to deal with it. I doubt that's the case, but it's possible. But I also want to talk about, there are other dials in the game. So we also have speed dials. And so, like I had mentioned, it's just listed as a dial pack. It's not listed as a command dial pack. It's just a dial pack. So it could be any type of dial. It could be a new type of dial that we've never even seen before, um, that's going to be added to the game. We don't know. The we also have speed dials. Now, you could get a premium speed dial, but I don't think people would be very interested in that. If you want a premium, there are third-party providers that can provide them. I don't think people are going to get FFG premium speed dials. But there could be a ship that's going to be out there that's going to be speed 5. We don't know. And so if you're going to have a speed 5 ship, you could need new speed dials. Although if it's just a new ship, you would think they would just include a speed 5 dial in with that ship, because it would be the only one that could do such a thing. So that's another dial. Now, Legion also includes a turn dial. So that's something that we could get added to the game as a turn dial. It's much better than the tokens and the token that we flip for the squadrons from red to blue. You can make a dial, make each number a different color. I have a premium one here that I got from Admiral Tater, that I use for Armada, that I've highlighted in the squadron color activation for each round, blue and red. And this is the Legion one as well. So we could get an addition like that. And then finally, like I mentioned before, we have to also consider that there is going to be a new mechanic in the game that's going to require a dial, or dials, we don't know. And that could be why, so that older players don't necessarily have to buy into the starter packs of the new factions to get stuff that they don't need. But FFG is adding a new dial system to the game that we will have to buy into that in order to add it to our fleet. And I think that's also a very plausible thing. And it's impossible to speculate on what that would be, because it would be a completely new mechanic that, it's easy to speculate about current mechanics and how they might change, but to be able to speculate on a completely new mechanic is next to impossible. But I just want to put it out there that I think there is a possibility that these dials, the dial pack, could be for a completely new subsystem of the game, some new dial system that we're going to all have to incorporate into the game. So those are my thoughts about dials. There's certain things that I don't want to see a lot of change to. I really don't want a new command. I don't care if it's premium dials, if they're just putting a dial pack out there in order and going to start leaving dials out of the expansions. I mean, personally, I'm not too upset with that. I just think it's a little bit dangerous, considering the amount of trouble that FFG has in keeping products stocked. So those are my thoughts today. Again, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot. It helps motivate me to make more videos. I picked up a few subscribers for this last video. I'd like to get a couple more. So please like the video, subscribe, and I've got several more videos that I'm going to be working on over the next few days before we get our announcement. Thank you very much. See you next time.